This is an open letter to Ken Block and Sister Hazel. Ken, I've never written to an artist before, so I'm not quite sure how to begin this letter, but I felt compelled to share the impact you've had on me and my family, especially over the last few months. A little history. I was introduced to Sister Hazel in the mid-90s by my older brother, Will. You quickly became one of my favorite bands. Will was born in Gainesville and went on to study criminology at UF. He was so proud that his favorite band was from his hometown, his most favorite place on earth. From the House of Blues in Orlando to Floyd's in Tallahassee to Red Rocks, Will and I saw you live as often as we could, both together and on our own. One of our most memorable experiences was in 2010 when an Orlando radio station held a contest to sing the national anthem before a Sister Hazel concert right in the heart of downtown. The winner would perform in front of thousands, meet the band backstage, and bring a guest. Will immediately called me and said in no uncertain terms that he would never speak to me again if I didn't submit an entry. Long story short, I won. And in doing so, I gave my brother what was probably the best gift I have ever given him. We met you and the rest of the band and got to watch our favorite group perform right between the stage and the barricade together as brother and sister. There really are no words to describe how special that was. It's a memory I will cherish forever. Will died suddenly this past March from a genetic heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. He was asymptomatic, and there was no reason to believe he wouldn't live to see his 42nd birthday. While planning his memorial service, we knew we had to include the music he loved most. On the long drive from Tallahassee to Cocoa Beach, where Will last lived, my mom and I listened to every Sister Hazel song we could. We were looking for lyrics that would be meaningful and appropriate for a celebration of life, and as much as we love Champagne High, we couldn't quite justify it for that setting, although Will probably would have loved it. In the end, we chose Lessons in Love, Hope, and Faith Part 3, Behind the Sun. I'm a little ashamed to admit I wasn't very familiar with it before, but as soon as the chorus began, we both knew it had to be a part of the service. And then suddenly, a saxophone solo, Will's instrument. He had played it all through middle and high school. My mom and I looked at each other and just knew. Some would call it luck or coincidence. I believe it was a little God wink, an unmistakable reminder that while we were hurting and searching for answers, we weren't alone, and that Will would always be a part of us. In our family, it's become a tradition to make a video tribute for our lost loved ones, using songs that meant something to them or reflect their spirit. Of course, I knew I wanted to include your music. I remembered a song you'd written for Chance, and when I revisited the lyrics, I knew it perfectly captured what Will meant to my parents as their firstborn. I also included All For You, the quintessential Sister Hazel song that we first fell in love with. Lately, I've heard my mom share stories about Will with strangers and new acquaintances. She says, "I'm his mom. It's my job to share him with the world." That sentiment finally nudged me to write this letter. I couldn't let more time pass without sharing a small part of Will with you. I know you've impacted many lives, but I want you to know just how deeply you've touched ours. Thank you doesn't quite feel like enough for all that you and your music have given us. But I hope this story brings you some encouragement and maybe even a little joy, knowing that your songs helped us celebrate, remember, and find comfort during some of our darkest moments. With my deepest gratitude, Alex Massey.